roundtable of this afternoon. Let me first maybe introduce my colleagues on stage who are going to help us understand what are the long-term impacts of FTTH on the telecommunication industry structure. So we have Gabriel Gauthier, who is the Executive VP in charge of Public Affairs at Alcatel-Lucent. We have Jean-François Frémaux, Business Development Director at Eutelsat. We have Harald Gruber, who is the Head of ICT and E-Economy Division at the European Investment Bank. We have Jean-Philippe Hague, Senior Industry Advisor, Telecom and Media at Société Générale, and Yves Gassot, who is the CEO of iDate. So I wanted to start maybe from what has been said in the previous roundtable and what also has been introduced by Roland Montagne just at the beginning of this seminar, about the fact that FTTH is happening in Europe. And I see three reasons for that, which have obviously long-term impact on our industry and beyond. The first reason is the fact that FTTH will support the evolution of our customer needs. From my perspective, the main breakthrough that fiber is bringing to the customers is not that much in download bandwidth increase than in the uplink capacities that it brings. Of course, the new services on video and the simultaneity of usages are going to require more and more download bandwidth. But what is really new with fiber, in particular with FTTH, is the symmetry and the uplink capacities. These capacities are going to open a new world of services, which are really answering to some important and strong expectation that we already seen with our customers. Our customers today want to be more and more producers of their content. They want to be sharing this content. They want to be accessing to this content from every device at any time. So these services are about cloud computing, cloud for business, of course, but cloud also for personal usage that we start to see in the market. And this cloud development, if it's stimulated by fiber, is going to have a strong impact on our industry in every single link in the value chain, in fact, on the networks, of course, but also on the hardware at home and at the office, on the applications, on the integration, on the web services. The second reason for FTTH to happen, from my perspective, is that it's in the interest of the telcos. Of course, we have mentioned that in some countries, in many countries, in fact, the competition from the cable makes the rollout of fiber almost a must-have for the telco players. But I think that beyond that, there is an opportunity for the telcos to reinvent their operating model with fiber for fixed business and even beyond. The copper technologies have been key to develop the usage of the digital society in the past years, but these technologies are now facing the limits, and limits in terms of reach, in terms of coverage, in terms of quality of experience, in terms of uplink, and also in terms of the cost, the operating cost for the telcos. And fiber is expected to solve most of those problems, so solve the problems of experience, solve the issues, the limitations for the new services, and also solve the issues with the cost, the operating cost of broadband for telcos. Fiber is also going to allow to reduce progressively the cost of the legacy copper networks, and it's going to help the telcos to maximize the convergence and the synergies between the fixed and the mobile technologies. The third reason, and the last one I see, is I would say, the political impulsion that we receive to deploy fiber. We've seen in the past years the potential of digital development to increase the competitiveness of our economy and foster inclusion for our populations. And this is expected to be accelerated by the rollout of these new networks that fiber are, and that's probably a sensible reason for the European, the national, and the local government to push for the deployment of these infrastructure. So fiber will happen, but fiber, we have already mentioned that, is going to entail quite a lot of investment requirements between 130 billion euros and 290 billion euros between now and 2020 to reach the ambition of the digital agenda. So the question is, and this is a question of the previous roundtable as well, how fast and how deep the roll-up will go. We will see in our panelists some of the parameters to answer this question will be touched upon in a moment. And I wanted to stress on two of those, which seems to me critical. First one is the regulatory framework. We have already said that the clarity and the stability of the regulatory framework is a paramount to trigger the investment decision. And the second parameter is the capacity of the players to invest. We hear every day about the public debt crisis in Europe. This will not help, obviously, the public authorities to invest in fiber, to support the investment in fiber. And my guess is that the rollout plans of the telcos are going to drive fiber rollout in Europe, at least for the next few years. In this context, and the increasing and accumulation of fiscal pressure on specifically on telco, which we see in different countries, is probably not a good news. It's not a good news as well. Some surprising initiatives intended to stimulate and accelerate the rollout of fiber that we can see. An example is we have already mentioned is the artificial reduction of the wholesale copper price that would reduce the capacity of investment of the incumbents who are driving in many countries the deployment of fiber, and could also trap the customers on DSL offers, whereas we should probably push the customers to adopt the new fiber offers. Finally, I wanted to conclude with one last impact I see long term from the fiber, is about the relationship the telcos have within other players in the value chain. The first one I see is that fiber is going to remove one bottleneck, which is on the access, and will also stimulate the development of new usage and services. And this is going to put light on other bottlenecks upper in the networks. And that will make even more urgent as today the reinvention of the business model of the internet, and how we split the value across the value chain, from the content providers to the network operators, and to invent new ways of providing to the customers solutions to guarantee quality end to end. The second and last one I wanted to illustrate is the new type of cooperation we already see, and which are going to develop in the industry around fiber. First one is between telcos. We have already mentioned the agreement between SFR and Orange this week on fiber in France, and some partnership between public and private sector are also very interesting in terms of deployment of infrastructure in non-dense area, and also development of services for the citizens. And finally, the last one, which is probably the less developed, is the cooperation between over-the-top players and network operators in order to develop new services around very high broadband in a large sense. So I leave the floor to Gabriel Gauthier, and Gabriel, what's your views as a major communication technology company on this question of rupture from FTTH?
Thank you very much.